From high atop Healthcare Hill in Central Maryland, this is BSN Headline News. Today's top story is mid-year reviews. Yes, it's that time of year again. One of the times we have our supervisors' complete attention. A time to shine, a time to talk about your future with someone who can affect your future, your supervisor. Now, back in 2014, we had a chance to sit down with Rich Statuto to talk a little bit about mid-year reviews and what they mean for the Bon Secours workforce. And while this interview is a couple of years old, its content is just as valid today as it was 2 years ago. Let's listen in.
You know, I think that the general misconception is that the mid-year is just to talk about goals, but for me it's a both end. It's an opportunity to check in on your goals and objectives, and it's an opportunity to talk about career, professional growth, and where do you want to be long-term with the company. Our goal is, for good performers, is to keep you in the company for the long term. And I think the best way to do that, again, is to match your needs and interests with the goals of the organization. I think it's really important, though, that you touch base on the objectives as well. Mid-year, things could have changed, and I think it's an important conversation to have about what's more important now 6 months into the year than maybe you envisioned in the beginning of the year. And I would also say this industry is so crazy. There's so much on everyone's plates that it would be helpful to have that conversation about what no longer is important, and should I take some of these goals and objectives off my plate so that I can focus on the things that really matter.
Mid-year reviews are going on now through April the 8th. And if you have some time before your mid-year review, take the Competency Self-Assessment on IRIS and share your results with your manager. You can get more information on the mid-year reviews, SuccessFactors, and the Competency Self-Assessment on IRIS. Or you can always ask HR, but you'll need to go to IRIS for details on how to ask HR. The Bon Secours mid-year reviews going on now through April the 8th. In other news, St. Francis Medical Center in Midlothian, Virginia, has a new CEO, Christopher Akashian. In a memo dated March 17, 2016 from Bon Secours Richmond CEO Tony Artebel, Bon Secours announced that Christopher Akashian will be joining the Bon Secours team as Chief Executive Officer of St. Francis Medical Center effective April 25, 2016. Chris is a Richmond area native, returning to Richmond. In Richmond, he previously served at both Retreat Doctors Hospital and Henrico Doctors Hospital with the Hospital Corporation of America. Most recently, he served with HCA as Chief Executive Officer of Parkland Medical Center in Derry, New Hampshire. But many will remember Chris from his time at Bon Secours. Chris did his residency with us and worked on the original Certificate of Public Need for St. Francis. Chris earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from the University of Virginia and his Master's of Health Administration from Virginia Commonwealth University. He is also a graduate of Leadership Metro Richmond. Chris, his wife Elizabeth, and their 2 children will be moving back to Richmond in the coming weeks. Please join us in welcoming the return of Christopher Akashian as the new CEO of St. Francis Medical Center. Finally, April is Diversity and Inclusion Month here at Bon Secours, and we'll be talking diversity and inclusion all month long. Also in April is the annual Bon Secours Employee Engagement Survey. The Employee Engagement Survey will take place between April the 18th and May the 1st. But did you know that there are pieces of the engagement survey that speak directly to diversity and inclusion? 4 questions, in fact. One of the 4 questions in the survey that speaks to inclusion is, my supervisor creates an environment that is trusting and open. Listen to this. Gallup has found that the primary driver for inclusiveness scores is whether or not individual employees have a meaningful voice. But how do we do that? Well, we already know that directly promoting trust really just doesn't work. Instead, Bon Secours likes to focus on respect to give our employees a meaningful voice. After all, it is one of our values. And how do we focus on respect? Well, how about trusting and supporting each other? Or maybe communicate and share ideas with each other. Seek input from others. Or how about include people in decisions which affect them? These are all behavioral norms associated with respect. Oh, and remember that when we recognize, accept, and celebrate our differences, we give those differences a voice, a meaningful voice. We are all different. We think differently, we act differently, we behave differently, yet we strive to be one Bon Secours. And how do we do that? Well, respect is just one way we can help create an environment that is trusting and open. Well, that's it for this week. Stay tuned to this portal for future up-to-the-minute information on these and other stories on BSN Headline News. I'm Dave Schlachter. Thanks for joining us. BSN Headline News is a production of Bon Secours Productions and is solely responsible for its content.